Hello, hello, hello to you music listeners, underground enthusiasts, and people that still have not gotten their DistroKid checks. We're back with another weekly songs list. Cut the long intro. Let's just get into it. Let's just talk about some songs. So some great ones came out this week, and I've kind of come to terms with the idea that I'm just not making these lists throughout the week. That's my plan. My plan is to write down songs as they release and I listen to them, but I always find myself scrambling at the end of the week to kind of go back and see what's been released. So I've just kind of come to terms with the idea that I'm not that proactive. Up first, we have a new carlby track with Stick to My Guns. After some alt-rock and Midwest emo tracks with Dad Hat and Petty Problems showcasing some loose organic sounds, carlby continues to push forward that sound but with a pleasant twist this time. Starting the track off, we are greeted with the sound that we're used to, the soft yet slick guitar melodies, organic and roomy percussion, and carlby's gentle and smooth vocal delivery. But after that familiar introduction, the sound is mixed up a bit with some fast and sharp trap drums, creating a pretty interesting shift away from the initially presented sound, all with guitar, provided by 93 Feet of Smoke, carrying the tune along. And this poppy trap sound leaves as quickly as it enters, acting as a stylistic bridge between the defined sections of the track. And in terms of performance, carlby is consistent as ever, with a soft but catchy chorus, interesting vocal melodies, and what are essentially flawless notes being hit. And I think that this song, along with other releases from carlby, is a testament to the artistic integrity presented by him, where there is a formula that has been crafted by carlby that has been fine-tuned over the years into a bulletproof methodology of delivering songs that are tightly consistent in their quality and sound, while also retaining fresh elements to prevent stagnancy. It's an impressive achievement, and it's an impressive song as well. We got a new Earth to Athena track with Crucifix, and ever since Earth to Athena's first track popularity, I've been keeping tabs and checking in on her fairly often, because Athena, with just 4 tracks under her belt, is quickly developing a sound that boasts a fair amount of confidence and a somewhat loose trajectory in terms of where she's taking it, because her debut track is a grungy alt-rock song that was followed up by 2 EDM tracks, a pretty sharp turn away from her initial introduction in terms of music. But on Crucifix, Athena returns back to the alternative indie sound, which at first glance might seem a bit whiplash-inducing, but that feeling is prevented by the competency in which the songs are delivered. When someone first starts making music, they essentially have a blank canvas, right? To splatter on varying influences from all areas of music that they enjoy. And over time, this chaotic amalgamation is filtered into a more structured sound that is more representative of an artist rather than their influences. But Athena seems to have slightly skipped that part with relative ease, because her performances in both displayed genres are incredibly cohesive and confident, and Crucifix has a bit of a swing to it with the dampened guitar progression under a drum loop that is entirely dominated by this sort of kick, tambourine, bounce to it, and the vocals are hushed in a way, rarely deviating away from the steady and relatively reserved delivery, even at their energetic peak, maintaining this pretty consistent sound to them, and it makes for a balanced wave to ride from beginning to end on the track. And conceptually, it is well written, with interesting imagery in the lyrics, and at almost 4 minutes long, Athena gets in a lot and says a lot. And although she exhibits the same technical issues that I've heard in her other tracks, primarily just being pops and clicks in the actual vocal recording, the quality is still beyond enjoyable, so it honestly doesn't matter that much, at least to me, it doesn't. But yeah, Crucifix, great track, excited to see more. Then we have clvrr with Home. And okay, so this song is sort of self-reprimanding in a way, with clvrr stating that, in the description, that they don't even really like this song that much. However, due to it coming from a personal and important context, it was posted. And even if clvrr doesn't, I like this song a lot. The soft and simple guitar that carries most of the track is the perfect foundation for the vocals, which are gentle, mournful, and reserved for most of the track, but also show some impressive range with a nicely hit couple high notes that seem to be placed exactly where they need to be. But this intimate and close-up sentimentality is cut off with a shift to this sort of hyper-pop punk sound driven by a crunchy electric guitar and blown-out kicks. And I really enjoy it. I tend to love when a song has a long build-up justified by a great energy shift that pays off really well. It almost acts as a reward for experiencing the first half of the track. And in terms of writing, the nostalgia-driven writing is intimate and personal, acting as a heartfelt depiction of familial relationships and how, despite the socially perceived sanctity of these bonds, they can be tumultuous and disagreeable at times. And how growing up invokes detachment as a child becomes an adult, making their own decisions outside of the influence of their parents. But these decisions can also strengthen a seemingly dissolved bond, with love and appreciation becoming stronger with experiences and situations and growth. It really is. It's a beautiful track. Then we got a new Drippin' So Pretty song with Dressed to Die. Over This Landis and Joel's produced beat, Drippin' So Pretty blends an oxymoronic combination of desolation and bravado with a confident and fast-paced delivery where bars overlap each other to get as much information out as possible over trap drums and ambient keys, but under this delivery are heartfelt lyrics built upon relationship dynamics, self-observation, and occasionally flexing to cut between some of the more deprecating bars. And although a fast, low-tone delivery dominates the song, Drippin' So Pretty momentarily delivers some pretty great singing on this as well, where although brief does have importance, not only breaking the tension between the rapid-fire delivery, but also just being generally fun to listen to. And the vocal mix paired with the production creates a pretty great atmosphere with the ambient melodies, occasionally deep reverb, and heavily sustained delay that all work together to make a really fun resonance in the track. I can't say that I am an extremely avid listener of this sound or style, but the more that I listen to the song, the more that it does give. I've enjoyed it quite a bit. And then we have the debut single from Butane, which is a self-described proto-neo-soul occult blue-collar indie boy band, who on this debut single definitely live up to the title. There are so many elements to this song that I love, between the wavy and psychedelic guitars, warm percussion and passionate singing, bluesy guitar solo, and everything in between. Butane kicks off their discography with a pretty memorable and impressive track. And this song just flows so well, with fantastic harmony between every component involved, belting the sound of a band with years of experience to boast between them. And with that, this has me interested and excited to hear what Butane has in store, because this is an emotional and technically impressive track that I sat on for a while, because I wasn't really sure how to describe it in a way that I thought was appropriate. And lived up to the sound of it a way that was accurate to how I felt. I love the lyrics and the vocals, and the rhythm guitar is spacey and comforting. And when it gets to the previously mentioned blues solo, you really do truly feel the full force of what this band is already capable of so early on in their discography. Butane, keep rockin'. We got a new P33, P33 track with Falling For You featuring OMNEI. And for the first half of the track, Falling For You is a buzzy piano and synth-driven ambient track with digital, thick vocals from OMNEI. It's a very peaceful sound. The blend of the soft, spacey piano with the sharp synths under OMNEI's vocals make for a really interesting sound, and it's a good slow burn start for the track. And when we do get to P's verse, a more organic sound is presented, and if there's one thing that I can always comment on P, it's his ability to layer vocals pretty beautifully, throwing out some great harmonies, low to high contrasts and notes, and a pretty tranquil aura that is presented in a lot of his songs. It's a melancholy song, with some sweet relationship-oriented lyrics of admiration and dedication. This song is almost like a lullaby in a way. Not that it's meant to or does put you to sleep, but rather the qualities of being such a soft and spacey track that it kind of feels enveloping in a way. This shit is peaceful. We got Yoku with Corefish with Gimme My Space. Yoku delivers some fantastic and pretty vocals over a Doki Doki Literature Club OST sample. And that is something that and there's something that I do appreciate about the sample's usage, especially as a fan of the DDLC OST, is that it is incorporated in a tasteful way that musically makes sense. You ever hear like a free for profit Lil Boom type beat, right? And it's just like an anime OST loop or like a Snail's House sample with like these super tinny snares and an out-of-tune 808, because I have, and it fucking kills me every time. It's not fun to listen to. But man, this sounds amazing and works so well with both vocal performances on the track, with Yoku and Corefish matching each other in quality with some airy notes, really fun vocal melodies, and a solid fucking mix. This song is ridiculously fun. With its stylistic quirks and technical precision, this is one that stays on repeat. We got a new Skrwd song with Psychopath. Skrwd attacks a hip-hop track with rapid-fire bars delivered with a metallic and auto-tuned sound over a hard-hitting but occasionally somber beat. It has bars describing scattered topics, including aversion to relationships, a downtrodden lifestyle. It's an emotional but also fun song with really engaging delivery that's very passionate and very genuine. And despite the fast-paced lyrics having a pretty processed and overbearing mix, preventing a drier sound that I do think tends to work the best with this style of delivery, in this case it works to the benefit of the track and elevates the vocal tone beyond anything that I think a more traditional dry mix could provide. It's a bit of a thinking outside of the box situation with the delivery, but it pays off, and I like it a lot. I think the mix on this is fantastic. We have a new one from Vict, Molina with Do I Deserve to Know Why? This is an absolutely gut-wrenching, heartbreaking song detailing the decay of a relationship with smooth, soft, pretty vocals crooning over this plucky acoustic guitar, and the vocal performance on this is amazing. The somber and impassioned delivery feels incredibly personal and incredibly vulnerable, and the lyrics are really what hits you like a truck here, basically asking in desperation for a reason for somebody leaving, and while that person gets to leave without consequence or remorse or accountability, the one being left behind is left alone and unsure of where things went wrong with little or no explanation. It's a really gorgeous track. Definitely a new song to add to the rotation of tracks that I'm listening to right now. It's so pretty. It's so sad. It's such a sad track. And I eat it up. I eat it up every time. Next, we have Leftquiet with On and On. This is a poppy and energetic banger that draws influence from the internet age of mixing and older punk aesthetics. The bass line paired with the bouncy synth lead that is bubbly and infectious, with Leftquiet delivering a scathing self-commentary with grit and power. And the chorus sees a shift in energy that is explosive and, above all, pretty impressive. The shouted, saturated vocals sound great, delivered with the necessary precision required to sound clean, but with the intensity and rough edges you want to hear in this context and in this genre. It's a really fun track with a pretty great structure and progression that keeps you hooked on the song for the whole time. New Nico track with Safer. This song's got a soft, ethereal vibe that floats pretty seamlessly across the progression of the track, where the hushed and dejected lyrics are delivered with a sense of delicacy to them. And the production from Virtual Girlfriend helps build upon the trancey sound with ambient keys wandering throughout the environment of the song, while staying grounded with the upbeat, sharp, dry percussion. This song is, by all definitions of the word, a vibe. We got a JoshuaSageArt track with Your Love Feels So Near. This song has a really interesting progression, where stylistic time and pitch changes that are typically reserved for the beginning or end of a track to instill a sense of opening or closure are methodically placed throughout the track, with the pitch and pace of the song changing multiple times throughout, speeding up and slowing down at different points. It's anxiety-inducing in the best way, creating tension and then stripping it away to recontextualize the same sound in a darker and trance-like image. And just as you become comfortable with change, just as you become comfortable with it, you're hit with another one that picks up the pace to create a sparkly and energetic and bright sound. It's a lot of fun, and it feels like an immersive experience in a way, waiting to see how the song progresses next. But funny enough, despite you are gonna find this so funny. Despite this rapid and occasionally random shifts, it's a pretty consistent song, establishing a sound at the beginning and sticking with it for the whole ride, never dropping or dipping in quality at any point. And we close things out with Killing Art with When You Look at Me, which has a fairly straightforward acoustic alternative emo sound to it, where Killing Art delivers some really solid and heartfelt singing over a Kanashi-produced beat, which contains some gentle acoustic guitar and trap percussion. It's a tried and true style that Killing Art approaches with precision and authenticity. I think the vocal performance on this is really nice, with some really heartfelt lyrics, smooth vocal melodies, all tied together with a pretty tight mix. And this is the approach that I enjoy for the sound. I think that in the past few years, the genre fusion of alt-rock, emo, trap, and even folk has kind of been slowly filtered over and over to a point where a deceptively unique sound has emerged. It feels as if each individual component of this track was pulled from a different genre, with singing one could find on an alt-rock song, folky guitar progressions, and then percussion you would hear on plenty of emo trap songs, and even a piano section at the end with a lo-fi inspired mix. And although on the surface, songs like this don't seem as complex as I'm making them out to be, they do show how eclectic underground music is, pulling inspiration from so many different areas in subtle ways to create entirely new yet familiar styles. It's a pretty song, and I think that Killing Art does a good job at creating a super solid acoustic track that doesn't really stray too far away from its mission statement. And that's it. That's over. You can tell it's over because my hood is up, and also there's green right there. Man, reversed webcams. Tell me about it. But yeah, I'll see you all next week. Watch out for the pollen, because apparently the pollen count is just really high this year. And guess who's got allergies? Guess who's got 2 thumbs and allergies? It's this guy. That's it. Catch me next week when I talk about the songs that came out in the past week. Goodbye.